for attending this session. I am Jacob Kingsley, a PhD candidate from Adventist University of the Philippines, and I am joined by my co-authors from partner institutions. Today, I will be presenting our research on community-based diabetes care for older adults in rural Nigeria. This work integrates screening, health education, and social support for sustainable aging. Let me start with the big picture here. Why this matters globally. Diabetes is rising rapidly among older adults worldwide, with 80% of people with type 2 diabetes living in low and middle income countries. Considering this, older adults face higher risks of complications. You talk of blindness, kidney failure, amputations, and the greatest healthcare gaps exist in rural settings. This is not just a clinical problem, it's a global equity issue. Now let me bring this home to our research context. Rural Nigeria, especially Zankwa in Kaduna State. Only 33% of Nigerians with diabetes are aware of their condition, and only 27% receive appropriate treatment. More than 40% prevalence has been reported among adults aged 60 years and older in some areas. In rural communities, late diagnosis is common. Access to care is limited, and cultural beliefs significantly influence health behaviors. Older adults are especially vulnerable in this context in rural Nigeria. This context reveals a critical care gap. Diabetes knowledge is low. Fatalistic beliefs discourage self-care. Social support is uneven, and most diabetes models are hospital-based, not community-based. So our central research question was, can a community-based, behaviorally informed model improve diabetes self-care and glycemic control among other adults in rural Nigeria? To answer this question, we applied the Information Motivation Behavioral Skills Model, the IMB model. We examine how three components work together: information or diabetes knowledge, motivation, including fatalistic attitudes and social support, and behavioral skills, which are self-care behaviors. And we measure the outcome, glycemic control, through HbA1c levels. Here is how we did it, focusing only on the key elements. We conducted a cross-sectional study at St. Louis Hospital Zankwa from January to March 2024. We recruited 150 adults aged 60 and above with diabetes with full ethical approval. We collected data on knowledge, attitudes, social support, self-care behaviors, and HbA1c from clinical records to measure the glycemic control. We use correlation, regression, and structural equation modeling to analyze the data we have collected. Let me tell you about our participants. Mean age was 67.8 years. 59% were females, 73% had primary education or less, and 80% were from rural areas. Here is the critical finding. Mean wage we got the HbA1c was 9.2%, well above the recommended target, and at the same time, we got 79% of participants were above recommended glycemic target. And this reveals that diabetes intervention are needed in rural areas, because when it is being taught to other areas, you will see that there is a clearer call. So what did we find about the factors influencing self-care? First of all, diabetes knowledge positively predicted better self-care with correlation of 0.25. Second, fatalistic attitudes negatively predicted self-care with correlation negatively gives something of 0.22. Third, and this is the most important, social support emerged as the strongest positive predictor with a correlation of 0.30. And finally, better self-care behavior were significantly associated with lower hemoglobin HbA1c levels. Social support emerged as the most powerful level for behavior change. The structural equation model explained 31% of the variance in self-care behavior. The model fit was moderate, with CFI of 0.85 and RMSEA of 0.09. And what does this mean when someone asks us? On one hand, the IMB models successfully identify important behavior drivers. We talk of knowledge, motivation, and it supports all matters. They link to clinical outcomes. On the other hand, 69% of variance remain unexplained, suggesting that structural variance link to many aspects like access to healthcare, financial cost, and cultural beliefs, which play a major role that we didn't fully capture. And this brings us to our contributions. What is our contribution? We identify 4 key factors here. Theoretically, this is the first application of the IMB model among rural African older adults with diabetes challenges. Practically, we identify social support as the key leverage point for community intervention. Clinically, we link behavior change directly to HbA1c outcomes, and contextually, we reveal the limits of behavior. For instance, only made models in low resource settings. In short, this study bridges behavioral theory and community practice in an under-researched population. So what should we change based on these findings? First of all, we consider scale community-based diabetes screening to reach older adults early. Secondly, we integrate family and community support into standard diabetes care to make it part of the care model. Thirdly, we design culturally adopted education programs for low literacy rural populations. And fourthly, we align these efforts with WHO and PEN and healthy aging frameworks. These recommendations gives us a good view to align with global NCD frameworks and sustainable aging goals. Let me conclude with our key message. Diabetes care for older adults in rural settings must be three things. First of all, community-based, not hospital-centered. Behavior informed by addressing knowledge, belief, and skills, and socially supported, leveraging family and community networks. And lastly, sustainable aging requires multi-level intervention. It is not education alone, and that should be the main point. Thank you for your kind attention. I am happy to answer any question or comment.